please, okay, that's the WhatsApp number. Messages and videos only. That's how you can reach us. So you can send in your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your suggestion, whatever it is you want us to know. We'll do our very best to bring it here on the program as soon as we get clarity on what you're talking about. Okay, let's get to the dailies, guys. The Blueprint newspaper is where we'll start off from with the dailies this morning. The major headline there says Nigeria at a turning point with renewed hope agenda. That's according to Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Says economy worsened when we dumped agriculture for oil. FG to ensure 65% arable land cultivated within 4 years. Okay, there's nothing Mr. Abbas has said that has not been said. Let's just pause that. But we hope this will be different. As I was driving down to work, I remember that when Muhammadu Buhari took over from Goodluck Jonathan, they spent a lot of years literally on the blame game on how the PDP or the Jonathan administration has literally brought the country to ruin and destroyed the country, and all of the things around corruption, all of the things around the list is on that, but right now that conversation is still on again. When you listen to some of the things that are being said, the economy was on the brink of collapse, the economy was this, that, and the other. Ask yourself, did Muhammadu Buhari, the former president, really do anything? So I get bored. I get tired of this promises and assurances, because we've heard this. We just want action, Kyle.
Funny story, Jeffrey. There's still a major debate within the APC. Right? By the way, the APC has a different internal ideologies and the natural alignments. Yeah. So there's still that debate, because it looks like for a lot of people, the Tinubu government is taking the shine of sorts. Talk about the refineries. And the ones who, the Buharis, for lack of a better term, will say, well, the refineries didn't just work all of a sudden. Buhari did some things, and some say, well, he worked under Tinubu anyway, and it looks like he did a lot as well. So there's still that debate within the APC. And for a lot of Nigerians, they always look at the Buhari, I don't want to say regime now, the Buhari administration, and ask these questions. Lots of things that they expected the Buhari government to have done, but the truth is the Buhari government laid some foundation for this Tinubu government, either good or bad. That needs to be put in context.
So the refineries, of course, you can't say it without calling Buhari's name. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, so when I'm driving and says, Buhari, I say, at least I remember Buhari did this one. You know how we suffered for months to get that road fixed. That road. We suffered for many, many months for that road. So at least I can say that's what I see that the former President Buhari. I'm just tired of politicians just playing with us, and that's our responsibility as journalists to hold them to account, because I don't know what was when the former President Buhari came to power. The things that were said that the Jonathan administration and the PDP did, it looked like Nigeria was below the ground, and now the Buhari administration has ended. This government is saying, if we did not do what we were doing, it wasn't damage that was coming, it was destruction. Venezuela was on the way. What's that country? Zimbabwe. Some of these countries, that inflation got to 2,000%. When Tinubu is over now, what would they say?
As far as administrations are concerned, there'll always be a back and forth on who takes credit for what. You can recall even the rail line, there was that back and forth between the PDP government of the Jonathan administration and the Buhari government over who kick-started the rail construction project. I'm looking forward to a time where administrations will contend for credit over making life easier for Nigerians rather than making life more difficult for Nigerians, and those are the real issues. If the refinery has worked, how much are Nigerians buying petrol for? For instance, how much are the industries buying diesel to power, manufacturing? Those are the real issues, not necessarily who put up a structure, which is a given, for any administration to make the economy conducive, for everyone to thrive, either the individual or the manufacturer or the businessman.
Other stories. The Nigerian Tribune is next up on our lineup. And there you have it. For another day, we're focusing on the health sector, which is a very vital one. And you see, Japa, only 6,000 medical consultants remain in Nigeria. But there's more. Just one or two produced annually. There's even more. 1,700 consultants approaching 60-year retirement age. So if you take that away from the 6,000, what you have is 4,300. And at the rate at which we are producing just one or two annually, you can only imagine what the future holds.
So, Kadi, I'd like to ask, who's going to take credit for this?
I think that's one of the most brilliant questions I've heard in recent times, Bukola.
Thank you. I didn't intend it that way.
But at this point,
I wanted to get a point across.
Who's going to take debit for this? Really, because this does not speak well at all. I recall the doctors in the nation's capital challenging the Senate President and the FCT Minister to use hospitals in the nation's capital, Abuja. And this challenge can actually go round. We can go round. The governors, lawmakers, the president, and other politicians, or at least those who are elected.
You know, it's ludicrous, obnoxiously ludicrous that...
Jeffrey, you're angry this morning.
No, I am. Because sometimes, you know, you try not to look at the country based on your own fortune or whatever. Look at the country from, you know, the man on the street, his ability to be able to access basics, whatever those basics are. That's how you look at the world. We cannot provide for everybody, but there are basics of the basics. That's protection as provided for in the Constitution. The country is working, the DC is doing that, is performing all the rhetorics when it comes to the people using it. But when it comes to the political class using it, they find themselves in London, they find themselves in Paris, they find themselves in the United States, they find themselves in India. And so this
Turkey, Dubai.
This is just clearly what it is, you know. How many of them take medical service from here at the end of the day? So it's important. And then I can see beneath that picture on the Tribune. Leave the medicals, because you guys have said a lot. Let's talk about the politics. I don't know what exactly is going on here. Yes, on weekend, the FCT minister flanked on the right by Usman Ododo, the governor of Kogi, and then Yaya Bello on the left, who is embattled with the corruption allegations between him and the EFCC. So whatever is going on, we do not know. we intend to find out what exactly happened here.
But this is certainly not strange. We have a PDP politician who works with an APC government. So when he's seen in the company of APC politicians, I think we shouldn't be extremely surprised.
Well, there are other layers to this conversation, because when you see the pictures, you see different things. Really, by the way, they visited the FCT minister in his own, but you know, different interpretations of this particular picture. Because if you isolate each of them and you look at
the circumstances surrounding
them, and then you put
stories,
everything together, you begin to, you know, walk through some further maths, divide the x, and you come up with a possible result.
So when you come up with an answer, please let us know what it is.
Believe me, Nigerians have come up with answers already in their heads, but this is what happened. We don't have more details, but yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
So let's head out to...
We're watching that space. We don't want to say what we think, because what we think...
No, we think they had a meeting.
No, of course
they had a meeting. So, I mean, we've said what we think already.
You know, this whole idea of an APC, PDP member working in the government of the APC, I asked myself, our politics, are we really that mature to have that level? But that's a conversation for another day.
There's been governments of national unity in the past.
And they seem to be doing well with this.
Government of national
his performance
unity.
I don't think it's in doubt. In terms of his infrastructure. Because we're strictly talking about his politics now.
Right. You know what? That's a Nigeria tribute for you. What do we have next?
We have This Nigeria up next, Kadi, and this is another interesting subject matter that's bedeviled us for years now. And when I say years, let me put it in proper context. Not just the Tinubu administration. The skyrocketing cost of food began way back. We can piggyback to the Buhari administration, when government officials suffered a disconnect between what obtained in terms of prices of food items in the market, and they insisted that prices of food were not so expensive. So look at it: skyrocketing food prices, eroding minimum wage. Workers urge government to find ways of addressing cost of living crisis. Rep Speaker Abbas blames agricultural decline, farmers' displacement on insecurity in critical farming zones. So that's the big story on the front page of this Nigeria this morning, a very big concern. So what's the measure of investment of our national budget in agriculture? And we always concentrate a bit too much on the federal government. What about the subnationals? How much of their budgets, of funding from their budgets, will be allocated to agriculture this year? Which state can we say is actually self-sufficient in terms of agriculture? Which state can provide, for the food security needs of its population? What's happening to the food basket of the nation? Benue State. Those are very, very important questions this morning. Hang on a whole lot of other things. So that's the big story on the front page of this Nigeria this morning. And we also see just beneath that story, FG plans stricter sanctions for airlines over delays, cancellations.
Will they be implemented? The 5,000th time, if you will. All right, let's go to The Guardian now. How Nigeria can leverage tertiary institutions on tapped talent. So this is a very important story because secondary school principal corps, governors corps, all of the corps that we used to have when we were younger, all of that, I don't know what is going on. We need to bring that back to tap this very, very exports that we're just allowing to waste away. We can do the best we can. So you can see some of the shining lights as far as athletics is concerned, and the sports around it on the front page of The Guardian. So
what's interesting, guys?
We should do the best we can to get back there.
Because this is what you see in other climes. By the way, it's not wrong to copy when it comes to policies or what works. Don't copy in examinations. But you see how other climes, if you excel in sports, you get scholarship to go to school. That way, it's an incentive, and they track your growth. I mean, little wonder the NBA is doing great. Little wonder a lot of our athletes are, out there, in
representing other countries.
It's because use what you have.
Give them education.
Get these people from the streets. Oh, you're doing well. Okay, we'll get you through school and we'll track your growth. It's no-brainer. We'll produce great talent.
Okay.
And the Victor Osimhen of this world came from communities where they were playing. Those were the places where they were discovered.
Not too far away from around our Jota.
Precisely.
Okay, but that's the much we can take from the papers. We have a lot of stories on the papers, but maybe for some other time. But we'll take a quick break now. When we come back, our very first conversation will have to do with the big debt profile of Nigeria and how the country will navigate out of that path to be more productive. Join us again.